we have the F1000 Championship cars. On pole position 12 is Tom Gadd alongside 92 Craig Pollard. On row
probably one of my favourite shots of the weekend. Us warming up our tyres behind this grid graphic and my name announced on the big screen.
Gunnar Johansson, row 7, 22 Chris Keir, then row 8, 24 is Bert Chapman.
Unfortunately, due to the gear stick snapping during my quali, I was only able to get 3 laps in. Fortunately, I qualified to be able to start the race, but it meant that I was starting on the back of the grid. Pretty comfortable there, let's go.
And it's starting to spit with rain, just what we needed for us.
Sam waving his arms to warn other drivers he's got an issue with the car.
Card of the weekend, the red lights go out, yellow flags are waving because there's a car that hasn't got away, but it's a great start from Rob Wellham from the second row of the grid, who takes the lead. A terrible start from Tom Gadd, who's dropped to 4th.
As you can see, the front runners are very fast. Most of the footage from AlphaLive will be following these guys at the front of the pack. There's some insane battles and definitely worth watching. Me, however, further back, let's watch my onboard footage from the race start and for most of the race.
Good start, had to move to the left to avoid Chris. This second to third upshift misses and goes into neutral, which means I lose my momentum and Chris comes up the inside of me. Sam finally gets going and makes short work of us, weaving through like it's nothing. Gunlauger making a little mistake there, so I get a bit of a run, but of course my gear goes into neutral and I lose my momentum. So I'm going to have another go at him back down the straight. He moves over and defends pretty well there. You can see it at the top right of the screen here. A popular spot for a move up the inside there. Gunlauger sticking with me here on the straight. It's going to be all about who can brake later into turn 1.
Now, by no means am I trying to make any excuses, but if you listen to the second to third upshift as I'm coming out of Druids at the top here, you'll hear a gear change very much missing. It happened a lot throughout the race. Unfortunately, I was plagued with that gear issue for most of the weekend. It was always going from second to third. It even happened at the race start. If you rewind back and have a look, that second to third made me miss a gear. It got a fake neutral. What ended up happening was Kristen was able to get past me on the inside. So down from Druids into Graham Hill Bend, it kept happening. Very irritating. It's also quite difficult to control the car in a downhill braking zone whilst trying to find gear, whilst also trying to take the lines right. Anyway, those are my excuses. Sticking behind Ryan here, making some good progress behind him. I was starting to gain a little bit of time for a few laps, but then I just started to drop off and he stayed consistent. Then in a few laps, my GoPro decided to start tilting up. The second half of the race is mostly of the sky. Of course, the engine sounds fantastic. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me just going round and round in circles. There's much better races coming up for you to watch. What I'm going to do instead is show you my teammate Tom Westworth onboard footage from this insane overtake he did into turn 1 on James Clennell. This is a masterclass from a 21-year-old. Enjoy.
Battle for 7th position. Clennell's been passed by Heighton, and now he's got Tom Westworth right underneath his rear wing. He comes to the left hand side into the second half of the race. Rob Wellham leads by half a second from Craig Pollard. Dan Gore in third. Then Tom Gadd fourth, dropping away in 5th position is Matt Higginson. Then this is the battle for 7th behind Chaz Hyton between James Clennell and Tom Westworth. Westworth's had a go for the last lap to get past Marcus. Right around the outside of Paddock Hill Bend for Tom Westworth. Great move that.
Jackie Hickson, the Race of Champions all those years ago. But and he's kept it as well. He's made it stick on the...
Starts the final lap then. 4 tenths ahead. You see more rain falling there. Not to lens, but just on the camera. Full stop. On this final lap as well, which can Craig Pollard sense an opportunity with that car? They've got to put a lap on Bert Chapman to challenge for the lead. Well, Chapman pulls off the left-hand side of the circuit. He's not going to affect this race at all. He's not going to affect this race at all. He's not going to affect this race at all. 2022 champion Rob Wellham from Ipswich in Suffolk. The opening round of the F1000 Championship for 2024 by 3 tenths of a second over Craig Pollard and a further 3 tenths to Chris Keir. Adam Walker was 11th, Bert Chapman 12th, Gunnar Johansson in 13th, and then 14th Joshua Dement.